Greetings, family. Empress D, obviously in nature. Oh, I hope everybody's experiencing this glorious day, especially if you are in the Toronto area. It's absolutely stunning outside. In fact, it's the weather I wanted to speak about today. But as I said, first and foremost, I hope you guys are actually getting out and enjoying this. And even if you're in an area on the planet that's not so pretty today, it's not going to hurt you to go outside, right? Just dress appropriate for the weather and get your backside outside, because outside is wonderful. I'm on a path today, family. It's right by the highway. You can probably hear the highway. Oh yeah, there's like an exit or entrance right here. I'm pretty sure you saw the sign. But it's nature nonetheless. The birds are chirping, as you can hear. They're all over this place, and it's a wonderful, nice path right by water. So I'm indulging in this nature space today, and I guess I'm hoping that you're doing the same, finding something, a nature space really nice, a really nice nature space close to you. And I think that neighborhoods are designed to be within a certain distance of accessing this type of environment. I'm almost 100% positive to it, because it doesn't matter where I go, there's a place, a nature space close by. Sometimes you gotta drive to it, but there's a nature space close by, right? And maybe I don't even know the nature space. Maybe there's a walking one. Like, I always find somewhere that I can indulge nature in any place that I go. Like, if I have to take my daughter somewhere and I have to wait for her, I find a nature space. It doesn't matter where I'm situated, I find a nature space, right? So there's always nature all around us. There's no excuse, family. There's no excuse to not get into nature every day. It's close to us, right? And I'm here speaking to you guys, and don't you hear the symphony around me of the birds chirping? I don't even hear the cars anymore. I hear the birds, and it's so beautiful. And everybody can have, and it's like, obviously I'm talking to you guys now, but when I'm walking and just with my thoughts, it's so therapeutic. So take advantage of the natural healing power. No side effects, no negative side effects, family. No negative side effects of this therapy. All right. Right? It's safe and effective. I'm telling you that. I can vouch that daily nature is safe and effective, and I'm not lying to you. I'm being straight up. So that's what I wanted to talk about, the weather. This guy up there, the sun. Family, I left my car. The weather said, the thermometer in the car said 21 degrees. I'm out here, it does not feel like 21 degrees. The sun is super potent, family. Like, I could actually be wearing a short sleeve ensemble on a 21 degree weather day. Let me tell you something. I've been on this planet for more than 4 decades. So I know what 21 degrees feels like. And I like to be comfortable. So somebody like me pays very close attention to the weather, and I know what type of clothes I need to wear on this type of degree weather day. So traditionally, I would have to wear a long sleeve, on the top and a long sleeve on the bottom for me to be comfortable in a 21 degree weather day. I am in a long sleeve and a top and a long sleeve bottom, and I wish I was wearing something that was short sleeve on the top at the very least, because the sun is potent. This is not normal. And maybe it's just me, but I saw something the other day to let me know that it's not. I saw somebody that owned cattle, and they know the habits and the patterns of the cattle. And so she was remarking, she had 8 cows, right? And she was saying how it was 10 o'clock in the rising, in the early part of the day. And she had noted that all of her cows were hiding under the tree, seeking shade. And that's not their typical behavior. They tend to do that when the sun's at its highest potency, at its peak, or maybe between, I would say probably between 11, maybe 12 and 2, you know, when the sun is at its highest, most potent, depending on where you are on the planet. The cows would tend to do that behavior at that time, but they were doing it like 10 in the rising. And she's saying these animals are not acting normal. And she was remarking that she had noticed this behavior since the 8th of April, since the eclipse. So I know for myself, the sun is very potent. I've heard other people remark it as well. And if the animals are exhibiting behavior that would indicate that the sun is potent as well, I think we can conclude that the sun is potent. Okay. So yes, I wanted to talk about weather, but it's really the sun I wanted to talk about. What is the sun? What does it do? They never taught us much about the sun in school. At least I didn't learn much about the sun in school. But in the last few years, I've been learning more about the sun and what it does. The sun is the giver of life. If we didn't have the sun, we could not live on this planet. Nor could any of this. All of life depends on this. And we have learned nothing about it. So what have I learned about the sun? So the sun is a giver of life. It provides energy. So we think of it as hot and a light, but it's really a producer of energy and light and codes. The sun sends down to planet Earth the energy necessary to sustain life. There's a lot that happens with the sun. I hear that I think it's 11 years, there's a solar cycle where the sun is at its minimum and that's where it's at its maximum. And where we are presently in this cycle is we're at the solar maximum. So maybe that's why Mr. Sun is so potent. And they say during this solar maximum period, we have lots more coronal mass ejections. So what are those? Those are little explosions, I guess. Well, they're not little, but explosions from that massive sun star. So explosions, bursts of energy. Those are coronal mass ejections. Those are happening more frequently during a solar maximum, which is the period that we're in. And we just went through a solar magnetic storm, they said, right? Where there was a lot more energy pushed down to the planet. So this is what this sun does. I also know that Bill Gates, I've read several articles on several different occasions, like throughout the last 4 years, about Bill Gates, for some reason, wanting to block out the sun. I've read articles about that, and I'm sure anybody watching this can Google to verify, because these are mainstream articles that I've read it in, and that he's desiring to block out the sun. But I don't know if you guys, why do we have to block out the sun? I do not consent to that. I don't want the sun to be blocked out. I didn't sign up for that, and I didn't ask Bill Gates to talk for me and do things for me. Maybe you guys did, but I didn't. And so I'm not sure what's happening, but the sun is important. And anyone wanting to block out this amazing part of our solar system that sustains life, think about it. They want to block out the thing that sustains life. Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, the whole point about this video is not to talk about people like that, but to talk about the importance of the sun. And the fact that the sun is changing. There's something different, family, going on. And I'm no weather expert. I tried to go on my weather app just before starting to share with you guys today, and it says we are currently experiencing interruptions and unavailable. So I wasn't able to get a current temperature. But right before I got out of my car, maybe 5 minutes before I started sharing with you guys, my car thermometer said 21 degrees Celsius. And I'm like, nah, sir, it doesn't feel like that. I'm hot. I need a t-shirt. I need a tank top for the weather that it is. It's the temperature that's posted does not reflect the heat and the intensity of the sun that we feel. And it's so funny because this is a rarity for us where we get a clear view of the sun. In fact, earlier today, there was a whole blanket of, I don't know what, blocking out the whole sky. But it's since dissipated and now we've got a completely clear sky. But that's not going to last for long. Because living where I live, there's a lot of blanket skies, blanket of clouds. You know, and during a recent flight, my brother noted, he said from New York to when we landed, he said there's a blanket, a blanket. Like we flew above that blanket and then we had to go below it. But prior to that, it was clear. And so we live in a really interesting place, family, and this sun is different. Maybe I'm wrong, and so if I'm wrong, please share your perspective with me if you can, because for me this is what I've experienced. Maybe I'm off. Anyway, thank you for taking the time to listen to this message, family. I think I've spoken long enough, but let's kind of tune into things like this, like the sun. Like, does it feel different? Like, anyway, maybe it's just me. Anyway, thank you for listening to my rant, family, or at least my share or my perspective, because really I think stuff is happening, and I think that a lot of what the media focuses on is to distract us from noticing stuff like this. So thank you again for taking the time to listen to this message. I love and I value each and every one of you. Get out in nature, family. One love.